Hello everyone, this is day 4 of our 10 days AWS Masterclass. So in this episode, we will talk about the Amazon Simple Storage service. As you can see, I am in my Amazon S3 dashboard, or I am in my Amazon Simple Storage service dashboard. So we will discuss what Amazon S3 is, and we will see how to create a bucket and how to create a bucket. Also, we will see how to upload objects or files into a bucket, and then we will see how to host a static website using S3. After that, we will talk about versioning. Yeah, versioning, how versioning works in Amazon S3. Then in the end, we will talk about Amazon storage classes, and yeah, we will talk about Amazon storage classes, and we will wrap up this session. So let's start by defining what Amazon Simple Storage Service is. Amazon S3 or Amazon Simple Storage Service is a service from AWS that lets you store and access data over the internet. So this service is built to hold a lot of data safely and reliably. So because of these reasons, it's a popular choice. So uh, no matter how much data you need to store, Amazon S3 will handle it for you. So it's unlimited. You can store as much as data as you want. So S3 or this service grows with you. So you will never run out of space or storage. So with this service or with Amazon Simple Storage service, you can keep all kinds of files. Like you can store photos, you can store videos, you can store documents, backups, even archive files. So you can store all these files, and you can access all these files whenever you need. Whenever you need. So you can access them from anywhere in the world using the internet. So it's the other thing I want to talk about is Amazon S3 is known for Amazon S3, sorry, Amazon S3 or Amazon Simple Storage Service is known for being secure and dependable. So because of these reasons, it's a popular choice for individuals and businesses that handle a lot of data. So, for example, Netflix uses Amazon S3 to store its data. So it's kind of a popular storage service in the cloud area. So there are a lot of features that Amazon S3 provides. Like you can store any type of file. You have unlimited storage. It's always available, and it's very safe. It's cost effective, and it's easy to use. You will see how easy it is to store your file in Amazon S3. You can also use it to host your static website. So I think it's enough talking. So let's uh, start the hands-on part. So we will start by creating a bucket. So before creating a bucket, uh, let's talk about what bucket is. So a bucket is a container for storing objects in Amazon S3 or in Amazon Simple Storage Service. So you can think of it like a folder in a file system, or a directory in a file system if you are a Linux user. So it's basically a container for your files. So the other thing I want to talk about buckets is each bucket has a unique name across all of Amazon S3, not only your account, all of Amazon S3. We will see it in action. So when we say it's a unique name across all of Amazon S3, we are saying you can't have two buckets with the same name. So what is object? Basically, object is a file stored inside a bucket in Amazon S3. So object contains two things. The first one is data, basically that the actual content you want to save. It can be photo, video, or document. The other thing is metadata. So basically, metadata is information about the object. For example, if the data is an image, for example, the size of the image, the type of the image, is it GPG or PNG, and also maybe the metadata can also contain the last modified date. So let's create a bucket. So to create a bucket or a folder in Amazon S3, you will click the create buckets button. Here you will provide a bucket name. Let's give it website. So the bucket name is website. We have said earlier each bucket has a unique name across all of Amazon S3. So we will say website, then we will leave everything as it is, and we will click the create bucket button. As you can see here, bucket with the same name already exists. So here I am in my AWS account. I don't have a bucket with a website, but it's generating a warning saying bucket with the same name already exists. So this bucket name have to be unique all across every AWS accounts around the world. So it don't have to be in my account. So for example, if a person in USA or in America have a bucket with the name of website in his AWS account, basically, for example, I am in Ethiopia, so even though I am in Ethiopia, I can't use this website bucket name because there is someone using this name in America. So let's create a more of unique name. So let's add an Ethiopian name. Let's say Emmanuel. I believe this will be a unique uh, bucket name. Okay, it's creating. Yeah, we have successfully created a bucket. So as you can see, here it says website Emmanuel. Let's get into the bucket. So it's here it says no objects. Basically, it means I don't have any file inside my bucket or my folder. So let's upload some random files from my local machine. So to upload a file to Amazon S3 or to Amazon Simple Storage service, you will get into your bucket, then you will click the upload button. After that, you can uh, drag files. Also, there is also another option, add files. Here we will click that, and as you can see, I have index html file readme. Let's add, for example, the index html file. So then I will click the upload button. So let's go to my bucket. As you can see now, I have index HTML file. So basically, following the previous procedures, you can create bucket easily, and you can also upload files easily. So if I want to add another file, for example, if I wanted to add a CSS file, all I have to do is just come here and click the upload button. Then I will provide that CSS file from my local machine to Amazon S3. So I think this is enough for the creation of bucket and the object part. Now let's see how to host a static website uh, using Amazon S3. Okay, now let's see how to host a static website on Amazon S3. So to host a static website on Amazon S3, the first step will be creating a bucket. So we will create a bucket. So here we will give it the name for the bucket, Grace Academy ETH. Then here it says block public access setting for this bucket. It's a must to uncheck this block all public access to host your static website on Amazon S3. So we can uncheck it while creating the bucket, but we will leave it as it is. So we will uncheck this policy or this block all public access property uh, after creating the bucket. So let's create a bucket leaving everything as it is. Create a bucket. So it's saying Grace Academy TH is not Okay, let's add ETO. I believe this is a unique name. Create a bucket. So it's creating the bucket. So let's view the detail. As you can see, I am in my Grace Academy ETO bucket. So we have created the bucket. The next step will be enabling static website hosting. So we will to enable the website static hosting property, we will click here on the properties tab. Then at the bottom there is a static website mode. So as you can see, it's disabled. So since we are trying to host a website, we have to enable this mode. So we will enable here. Then hosting type, host a static website. Then here we will specify the name of our default page. So it's index.html. If you have an error page or an error HTML file, you can specify it as error.html, since we will not be having an error HTML file. I will leave it blank, and we will click the Save Change button. As you can see here at the bottom, the S3 static website hosting is enabled and hosting type is bucket hosting. Then we have a website endpoint. So if I try to access the website endpoint by clicking the endpoint, I will not be seeing anything, or yeah, 403 forbidden. So let's proceed to the next step. So the next step will be uploading the website files. So you can bring your own website files, your own index file, your own CSS and JavaScript file. But if you don't want the hassle, here I have a GitHub repo, static website deployment using AWS code pipeline. So this repo is not made for this specific tutorial, but in the repo there are HTML script, the script, and this is the CSS file. So we can use all these file for our own use case. So if you want all these files, I will provide the GitHub repo link in the description. You can use these files. So I have already cloned it to my local machine, so I don't have to clone it again, but you can use all these three files either by cloning it, or you can also download the zip, and you can extract it and upload these website files to your S3. So let's upload the website files to this bucket. So I will click the add files button. As you can see, I have the index file, the script, and the style. I will upload it. Then I will click upload. So the third step is uploading your website files, basically your HTML, CSS, and uh, JavaScript file. So I have my website files. Let's try again to access our website using the endpoint. Again, we can't uh, see our static website. So there are some steps that we have to take to see our websites on the internet. So the next step will be, I believe, updating the bucket permission for public access. So to update the public access, we will go to the permission tab. Here, while creating, so block public access, it says, so we want our static website to publicly accessible, so we have to edit this property. As you can see, while creating, I have said to host our static website and to make it available on the internet, we have to uncheck this block all public access checkbox. So we have left it as it is while creating it, but now we have to and check it. So basically what it does is, by default SSE has a public access block setting enabled to prevent accidental public exposure of sensitive data. So by default it's blocked. So unchecking block all public access allows the bucket and its object to be accessible to the public. If, don't forget this word, so basically the statement after the if word is the next procedure. So basically unchecking block all public access allows the bucket and its object to be accessible to the public if proper permission are configured. So the next step will be configuring the proper permission to the bucket. So let's save changes. Let's confirm it. Let's confirm this. Now let's proceed to the final step. So the final step will be uh, giving to the S3 bucket a proper permission. So to give the proper permission to S3, we will use a bucket policy. So let's click here and let's paste some bucket policy. So I will explain uh, each part. So basically, without this bucket policy or without a bucket policy, even though the public access block is removed, the objects in the bucket won't be accessible publicly. So basically, this bucket policy explicitly defines that all objects in this bucket can be read by any user. As you can see here, the version is, it doesn't matter the version. Here it says the effect is allow. So the allowed action is S3 get objector a read action, a read action. Then here it says the resource. Basically, we have to provide the bucket name. It says here example static website. We have to change it to Grace Academy ETO. So you have to provide uh, your bucket name here. As you can see, the principal star. Basically, the principal star means everyone in the internet is, or yeah, anyone in the internet allowed to perform the read action on this object, basically on this bucket. On what bucket? Grace Academy ETO. So basically anyone in the internet can access all these three website files, basically the index HTML file, the JavaScript file, and the CSS file. So I think we have completed the bucket policy part. Then let's save the changes. I think this is the final part. So let's go into the properties tab and try to access our website using the endpoint. I believe, yeah, as you can see, welcome to Grace Academy, empowering minds for a brighter future. Click the button below to learn more about us. Discover more. Grace Academy believes in a holistic education for academic excellence and personal growth. So, we have successfully hosted a simple static website made up of HTML file, CSS file, and a JavaScript file on the internet using S3 or simple storage service. Now let's talk about versioning. Okay, now let's talk about S3 versioning, how versioning works in Amazon S3. So before seeing how it works, I think it's wise to explain what S3 versioning is. So basically, S3 versioning allows you to preserve, retrieve, and store, or no, not store, sorry, restore different versions of objects in a bucket. So uh, let's go to the properties tab, and I believe here it says disabled. So bucket versioning is not enabled in this bucket. So if we enable, when versioning is enabled in a bucket, every modification or deletion of an object creates any version instead of overwriting or permanently removing the object. For example, in this bucket versioning is not enabled, or it's basically disabled. So as you can see here, we have three files or three objects. So for example, if there is an index.html file in my local machine, let's say I have edited or I have modified this index.html file in my local machine and then uploaded it to this bucket. So if bucket versioning is not enabled in this bucket, what S3 will do to this file is basically it will remove this file and it will replace it by modified version of this file. So basically I will not have access to this file. It will be removed completely. So to uh, to avoid this kind of scenarios or this kind of things, we will enable versioning. So now let's enable bucket versioning. We will basically save change. So in my bucket now, bucket versioning is enabled. So now let's get back into our index.html scenario. So let's say I have this index.html file in my local machine, then I modified this index.html file in my local machine and uploaded it to this bucket. So now since bucket versioning is enabled, when I upload the modified version of this HTML file to this bucket, it will not replace this index.html file. Instead of uh, instead of replacing this HTML file, it will keep this file and it will add the modified version to this bucket. So S3 will keep the old versions instead of replacing them. So we will have different versions of this file in our bucket. Now let's see it in action. As you can see in my local machine, there is index.html file. So let's edit or let's modify this file. In the title, let's say Grace Academy Ethiopia. Then save this. Then let's save this file and close it. After that, let's get back to our bucket and let's add the modified version of our index.html file. So as you can see, let's upload it. Okay, we have successfully uploaded the modified version of index.html file. As you can see, there is only one index.html file. So does S3 replace the older version with the modified one? Since S3 versioning is enabled, our older version is still there. So to see the older version of our index.html file, here we will toggle this show versions button. As you can see, we still have the older version of index.html file. So as you can see, the modified version of the HTML file have version ID, but the older one don't have the version ID. Uh, the older version don't have the version ID because when we upload this file, versioning is not enabled. Because of that, it doesn't have the versioning enabled. So if you again modified this index.html file and the upload upload it again, the newer version or the new one will have versioning enabled. So for example, if we accidentally delete this index.html file, still we have the index.html or the older version. So basically versioning will protect us from accidental deletes or overwrites of a file. So basically you can restore an older version because we have the older one. Let's again uh, modify the index.html file and upload it again. So it won't take long time. Let's say Grace Academy in the H1, Grace Academy Africa. Let's save it. Let's close. Let's get back to our S3. Let's upload the file. Here we will upload it. Upload. Let's close this one. Close. As you can see, let's show the versions. As you can see, now we have two older versions of index.html file. The first one is null because bucket versioning is not enabled while uploading the original index.html file. This two newer versions are newer versions have version ID. So if we delete this version, we have two other versions. So it will keeps history of all changes made to a file. It will also, what the hell, sorry, it will also help us to track all changes made to our files. So I think this is enough for versioning, so you can use it like that. So there are something I want to talk about versioning. So if versioning is suspended, you can no longer create new versions. So but existing versions remain intact. So basically you can't disable versioning. All you can do is suspending. Even if you suspend it, you cannot create new versions. Don't forget that. I think this is enough for the versioning part. So I think this is enough for this session. I have said in the beginning of the video, we will talk about the S3 storage classes, but you can explore about the S3 storage classes in the internet. So this is enough for this episode. In the upcoming episode, we will talk about AWS VPC or AWS networking. So don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you.